It's definitely going to be too loud to vlog here, but I'm just checking in to say that I dropped my filters. They're okay though, don't worry. I'm trying to talk, but there's ducks watching me and I'm getting very nervous, okay. Right, I've managed to find some shelter because the wind is absolutely barbaric around here. And I'm having to do the speaking away from the tripod because where I was standing it was just too windy. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and basically the whole idea of coming out today was to 1, location scout for sunset, and 2, test out the kind of differences between 10 stop and, well, not 10 stop, because in all my last photos I've been primarily using my 10 stop filter, which doesn't mean in order to get a good photograph you have to put a dark piece of glass in front of your camera to slow everything down. It's just my preference to those images that we were taking. So I've come along the Taupo lakeside. It is a lake, and the whole idea was to come out, have a little look, and maybe just test both of them out. So once I got to the spot where I thought, yep, I'm going to take an image. Looking more to the wide angle side, I got some rocks in the foreground, slowly leading off into the water. And because it's quite a windy day today, we have a lot of wave action. So basically I wanted to use that to my advantage. Setting up a vertical composition, looking down at the rocks as they go off into the distance, I tried as much as possible to get the mountain in the background. It is a cloudy day today, so it kept coming and going. So the whole idea today is to show the benefit that you can get from just using a couple of pieces of glass in front of your camera and actually how it can transform your landscape. So without any filters or anything, this is what my camera said the correct exposure and perfect photo would be. Which in my mind is very nice, but actually we can definitely do better. So first, I set up the 10 stop along with a 0.9 hard edge graduated filter because we were working with only slight mountains quite far off in the background, so in the distance I was able to just cut that right out with a 0.9 as it is quite a sunny day today. So 10 stop out, can't remember how long it was, so I will put how long the exposure was here. So the whole idea of this was to smooth the water out and create quite a calm, peaceful setting. In my head when taking this photo I imagined it to be black and white, but I might change that. So yes, image number 1, at the rocks, mountains in the distance, 10 stop, here you go. So that was the 10 stop image. So then I decided to get out my 2 stop, which only cut away some of the light, meaning I could get an exposure of however long, I think it was about a second long. So the whole idea of putting the 2 stop in over the 10 stop was I wanted to bring down the exposure enough to about a second, so I was able to keep the interest in the wave. You could actually see some of the movement. So the 2 stop without any filters. So the 2 stop created that look. So looking at them side by side, they do have 2 different looks to them. It doesn't mean that they're better than each other, but it's just what the photographer is trying to achieve. So that is no filters, with a 10 stop, and with a 2 stop. Playing around with different exposures, different bits of glass, definitely something that every photographer or every beginner photographer should definitely be doing. It just broaden your horizon on what you can actually do with photography. It's about 5 o'clock now. We have about 45 minutes till sunset. We are now lakeside, looking off to Lake Taupo, which is right there, and Mount Ruapehu in the distance, along with various other mountains. They're all got snow caps at the moment, so there's a real form of interest. I've been down here a few times already, so roll the clip. So I've already made a couple of attempts to come down here for sunset. Because we're in winter, the mountains get covered in snow a lot, which means it's all covered in clouds. So it's very difficult to come down on a day when they're not disrupted by clouds. So as you saw earlier, we were further down the lake onto a small beach, and we've basically stuck around in town, done some shopping, and held on just in case sunset looks promising, which it does. So let me talk you through my composition. Main form of interest today is the mountains in the background. So I've got the 7200 out, zoomed all the way into 200mm, and if I had a 100-400 I would probably be about 350, but I don't, so I'm using the best of this situation. I'm using absolutely no graduated filters at the moment, and I'm just using a polarizer. And because we've done a bit of teaching today with the exposures and filters from earlier, I'm going to show you why you don't need a filter and actually why you can just use your polarizer instead. So for this image I'm using a polarizing filter, like I said. So the video here is basically showing before and after the polarizer, and you can see beforehand it's really kind of washed out, and the polarizer cuts through and basically darkens the sky almost like a completely accurate graduated filter, which basically gives you more detail in your image, and it just looks really, really good. So now we know what the polarizing filter does, I'll talk you through the rest of my composition. So I'm aiming to shoot this all vertically and create a panorama, much like my very first photo I took from the New Zealand trip. As I said, no need for any filters, just the polarizing filter. So as it stands, my exposure is 1/15 of a second shutter speed, f11, and obviously ISO 100. I did try maybe slowing it down again with the 10 stop, but actually if you are shooting a panoramic, using the 10 stop in 30-second intervals will ruin the stitching of the cloud. So yes, this is an image that I've been dying to get ever since I got to New Zealand. The way the sunset's going, it might not even work out, and I'm planning to come back for sunrise anyway, so I'm not entirely sure if this is even going to be the keeping photo. It's about half an hour till sunset, and fingers crossed that the light develops. So thank you all for watching, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time.